Hello everyone, welcome back to Spoken English with Neha Sharma. Today, we are diving into an intriguing topic which is about negative personality traits. Now, we all know that nobody is perfect and our personalities come with both strengths and weaknesses. In this video, I'm going to be shedding light on some of those not so desirable traits that we sometimes encounter in ourselves or in others. So, let's jump right in. Number 1. Callous. Callous is a word used to describe someone who doesn't seem to care about how other people feel. When a person is callous, they act like they don't care if they hurt others' feelings or cause them to be sad. It's like they have a tough shell around their emotions and don't let themselves be touched by the emotions of others. Being callous means not being kind or considerate towards others and not showing sympathy when others are going through difficult times. For example, even when facing difficulties, he remained kind and didn't become callous. Number 2. Condescending. Condescending is a word used to describe how someone acts when they seem to believe they are better or smarter than others. When a person is being condescending, they might talk down to people, use a tone that sounds like they are teaching something simple to a child, or act as if they are too important to listen to others. It's like they're showing off and making others feel small. Being condescending is not a kind way to treat people because it can hurt their feelings and make them feel less valued. For example, a good leader should inspire, not be condescending to their team members. Number 3. Obnoxious. Obnoxious is a word used to describe someone or something that is really unpleasant and annoying. When a person is being obnoxious, they might act in a way that bothers others a lot. They might be loud, rude, or just generally hard to be around. It's like they are not considering how their actions affect others and are being difficult on purpose. Things can also be obnoxious, like a loud and annoying noise or a strong, bad smell. For example, his obnoxious laughter disrupted the quiet library and annoyed everyone. Number 4. Meddlesome. Meddlesome is a word used to describe someone who likes to interfere in other people's business without being asked. When a person is meddlesome, they might try to give advice or get involved in situations that don't concern them. It's like they're poking their nose into things that should be private or that they don't really understand. Being meddlesome can make others feel annoyed or uncomfortable as they might feel like their personal space is being invaded. For instance, the meddlesome co-worker kept suggesting changes to everyone's work, even when it wasn't necessary. Number 5. Tactless. Tactless is a word used for someone who doesn't always think before they speak or act, which can sometimes lead to unintentionally hurting others' feelings or causing awkward moments. Imagine if a friend just got a bad haircut and someone said loudly, "Wow, your hair looks weird now," without realizing that it might make the friend feel bad. That's being tactless, not considering how the words might affect the person and not being careful about what you say. For example, asking about someone's personal medical condition in a public setting was quite tactless. Number 6. Temperamental. Temperamental is used to describe someone or something that often has unpredictable changes in mood, behavior, or performance. Imagine if a friend's computer sometimes works perfectly fine, but other times it suddenly stops working for no apparent reason. You might say that the computer is temperamental because it doesn't behave the same way all the time. Similarly, a temperamental person might have sudden shifts in their mood. They could be happy one moment and upset the next, without much warning. So temperamental is about things or people that can be a bit tricky to predict or understand because they have frequent changes in how they act or feel. For example, John can be quite temperamental. He is cheerful one moment and easily irritated the next. Number 7. Testy. Testy is a word used to describe someone who is easily irritated or quick to become annoyed. Imagine if you were talking to a friend who was in a bad mood and they snapped at you for no apparent reason. You could say they were feeling testy. It's like a person's patience is running low, and even small things can make them grumpy. For example, if your brother is testy because he didn't get enough sleep, he might get upset over minor things that usually wouldn't bother him. Testy is all about being touchy and getting annoyed more easily than usual. Let's look at the example sentence. She's usually friendly, but today she's feeling testy. So it's better to give her some space. Number 8. Cynical. Cynical is a word used to describe someone who often doubts the sincerity or goodness of people's intentions. Imagine if you had a friend who always thought that people were being selfish, even when they were trying to help. That friend could be described as cynical. It's like they have a belief that everyone has selfish motives behind their actions. For instance, David was a cynical person who often doubted others' kindness. Number 9. Slob. A slob is a word used to describe someone who is messy, untidy, or doesn't keep things clean and organized. Imagine if you had a roommate who left dirty dishes all around the kitchen, clothes scattered on the floor, and never cleaned up after themselves. You might call them a slob. It's like they don't care much about having a neat and tidy environment. For example, Alex was a slob when it came to eating, often spilling food all over the table. Number 10. Manipulative. Manipulative is a word used to describe someone who tries to control or influence others through clever or sometimes deceitful tactics. Imagine if you had a friend who always tried to get their way by making you feel guilty or by saying things that aren't completely true. That friend might be manipulative. It's like they are skilled at making you do things you might not want to do. Manipulative is all about using strategies to make others do what you want, often without them realizing it. The example sentence is, Jane's manipulative classmate pretended to be a friend but only used her for her notes. Number 11. Vindictive. Vindictive people have a strong desire for revenge and they want to hurt or punish others because they are still angry or upset. They might do mean things on purpose to get back at them for something they did. It's like trying to get even by being mean back. Imagine if you have a friend who borrowed your toy and accidentally broke it. Instead of just forgiving them, you start being mean to them and hiding their things because you're still angry about the broken toy. That's being vindictive. It's like being mean back to them because you're upset instead of trying to solve the problem or forgive them. For example, John's vindictive ex-roommate purposely damaged his belongings before moving out. Finally, number 12, aloof. Aloof is a word used to describe someone who keeps a bit of a distance from others, both physically and emotionally, often appearing uninterested in social interactions. Imagine if you had a classmate who rarely talked to anyone and often sat alone during lunch. That classmate might be considered aloof. It's like they are a bit distant and not very engaged in social interactions. For example, Mark's friend was aloof at the party, standing alone and not mingling with others. And there you have it, a closer look at some of those not so great personality traits that we all encounter from time to time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking content, and until next time, take care and keep shining bright.